What's up, Ninja fam? First thing I want to talk about this video is y'all need to fucking actually take into account fucking stretching and rehab. So that's why we're in the fucking jacuzzi. I need y'all really quick to understand there's no like set type of like thing that I do specifically. What I like to keep in mind for the most part is you gotta set like a schedule, because it's like lifting also. That's like what's helped me out the most. And for me, to be honest, I've like started scheduling out like this right here. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because you also should have like a rest day, because it's not really the recovery part you need to like take a break from. It's just more so that the stretching you need to take a break from. Hear me out. Every time you guys stretch and do all that shit, it's the same thing as like shin conditioning or like lifting weights and shit like that. Y'all are just constantly like fucking tearing muscle fibers and shit like that and becoming more flexible. So with that being said, y'all need to remember, take fucking breaks. Remember, when we go and stretch, we need to do it with like mentality that like, why are we doing this? Because you guys gotta stay motivated with stretching. Because stretching, honestly, can get kind of fucking boring. You guys can't, like, haven't actually realized. Like, if you guys try to stretch multiple days in a row, y'all end up not doing it after a while. Reason being, that shit's boring as fuck. But key tip, why didn't I smoke so much fucking weed? Yeah, fucking go out there and look into shit. I'm telling you, the way the Thai stretch, the way all the different types of people stretch, it's crazy. I prefer this bitch right here. I like to go in the jacuzzi, get warm, and then I start stretching out and loosening up. I also use the jets, also start like tendering up my muscles, kind of like a Theragun. That's just my favorite. Or I like to go into a sauna. Other than that, the only time I stretch really is either at home after training or at training after training, because I like to be warm when I train, when I like stretch and recover, because that way my muscles aren't like tight and get like pulled when I get into deep stretches. That way I can kind of go straight into it and actually get into it like a workout. Next, you guys gotta remember, just like Jiu-Jitsu, just like anything else, like any combat sport, just like anything in life, if you want to be a good accountant, what do? Do accountant shit all day. If you want to be a good lawyer, what do? Study the law all fucking day, whatever type of law. If you want to be great at Jiu-Jitsu, train Jiu-Jitsu all day, every day. With that being said, guys, Ninja fam, y'all gotta realize, what do flexible people do? I'm gonna leave that for a second. They fucking stretch and do flexible people shit. So yeah, y'all may not be able to do that right away, but you gotta work towards it every single time, because it's not about short-term goals and short-term like fucking achievements and just short-term fucking prizes and shit like that. You guys gotta realize, in that long term, after we've been stretching all the fucking time, we're gonna end up throwing the fucking head kicks. We're gonna be getting out of them single legs all crazy with that straight up leg. We're gonna be going all fucking kinds of ninja shit, backflipping, flying triangles, doing all sorts of crazy leg locks. If y'all want that, fuck, I want that. I want even crazier flexibility and dexterity than what I already have, so I'm still working on it. With that being said, Ninja fam, that's pretty much it. But I'm finna take y'all on a ride, and this video is definitely not over, so hope y'all fucking enjoy. And fuck it, we finna try something. But see y'all later.
I would take it from the perspective of like a couch potato, or like someone that works at a desk. You know, so we do so much sitting. So let me sit. Right, so we sit all day, right? And then it causes all these muscles in here in the front to get short, and it causes our hamstrings to get all fucked up, and then our pelvis, over time, it starts to, if your pelvis is shaped like this, it kind of starts to go like that.
Oh, it starts to tilt forward?
Yeah, like it starts to go like that. So we have to, and what happens alongside of that is like it starts to go like that, and then we lose strength in our glutes, because when we tighten our glutes, it tends to make our pelvis go like that, and when our pelvis like this is stable and strong. So I think for most, especially from like a beginner's class, anything that's going to start to lengthen the front of these front parts of our hips, and we learn to activate our glutes to like not just certain parts of it, all the glute muscles, and eventually it's going to start to bring the pelvis down, and it's going to make you more athletic and more flexible. So I think.
So you're just looking at it based off like just the daily person, because that is a good. That is actually a good like way to think about it.
Yeah,
that's like a common issue that like everybody should probably face.
Most people that we see in this class, right? So this is the beginner class. This is the after work class. This is the class that people go to when they're done sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah.
So I think what I suggest for most people just to get started would be simple lunges, right? Lunges and simple like hamstring stretches. You know, like the simple hamstring stretches like this, or then we have the yoga downward dog stuff works pretty good. Anything that's going to lengthen the back and then stretch out the front. Right, I think the lunges are usually a good first pass at that. As you get more advanced and like this starts to be like pretty comfortable, you can start doing like
like the mobility in the stretch.
Yeah, you can start doing like stuff like this to stretch it out. The couch stretch. So if we go over here, the couch stretch. This is something you do against the couch.
Well, don't eat shit on the wet. Oh yeah.
Right, that's what we call the couch stretch. So that's really good for that too. And then eventually you lengthen, and then you learn how to strengthen the glutes, which really Jiu Jitsu is pretty good about that, especially getting up off the floor. You know, anything that we have to put our foot flat on the floor and get up is really good for our glutes. And then I think for most people, after they get that kind of a little bit more situated, the things start to even out, then it becomes inward and outward rotation.
Like a stability?
Well, then I think what I notice is like what hinders people after their hips are good like this way.
Yeah.
It's about the spinning like this.
Oh yeah.
So like we got to learn how to do like the inward and outward rotation stuff, where I should be able to have good rotation to this way and then this way. So that all should be. So that's like the next step. I think would be after you get the front and back. It's about side to side now.
Oh, and that's when you get into like that warm up that you do, where like it's the whole sequence to hit everything.
Yeah, and that's mostly just for, that's like a general mobility.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about programming, I would say, you know, that a mobility routine, you know, just to like get you moving, then right before training, then training, and then really passive stretching after training, I think is really useful because you're nice and warm. And what do I mean by passive stretching? Would be get into a stretching position, something that's generally uncomfortable, right? Whatever it could be. And then you try to hold it 3 to 5 minutes and as relaxed as much as possible. So like 3 to 5 minutes, you know, whatever you like to do, right? I really like this one, kind of leaning forward like that. I saw this like on, I was watching YouTube videos about sumo wrestlers.
Really?
Yeah, and they like to get really wide and really flat. So I like to do this one like 5 minutes after training when I get home in front of the TV. I just kind of relax here and try to really think about lengthening and trying getting my chest on the floor.
Oh, so you just hinge at the waist and try to just stretch your like.
Yeah, and then you're like trying to bring the sternum up.
Yeah. And
then really trying to open up the front here, breathe through the bottom and build up through the sternum and then lay flat. But yeah, anything, you know, when I tell students is like anything that feels uncomfortable, that's probably where you should probably spend your time. But getting a version that you can kind of get in and relax for like 3 to 5 minutes and just breathe and just hold that position and like, it should be kind of numb, feel kind of gross, and then you got to get to the other side or whatever the stretch might be. You know, there's tons of upper body stretches that are good too.
Yeah.
And that'd be my basic like.
And I remember you saying one time when I came to your morning class when you were doing that, and you see you like doing that in the morning. You still do that?
Yeah. So I stretch every morning and every night.
Huh.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
On top of what you said, the before practice, after practice, and then.
So in the mornings, I get up, drink my coffee, take a shit, walk my dog, 20 minutes of stretching every morning. And then usually most nights, home, protein shake or small meal, shower, stretch 20 minutes before bed. Nothing crazy either.
No,
just like just like 20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes is like 3 positions.
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
I'll do it like before the 6 a.m. class or like in the warm up of the 6 a.m. class. And then I'll go on my lunch. I'll move around a little bit here and just open up my hips.
Yeah.
And then before the night practice, or if I come here, I'll go to my jacuzzi and move around and go deeper in my jacuzzi. Yeah. Just to like really go, cause I like how it gets warm. Or I'll go to the sauna.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and really like it's the you know, it's the same as training jiu-jitsu. It's like a little bit every day is gonna be, you know, way better than doing all at once. You know, I used to do yoga 1 day a week. You know, I do like a 90-minute class, like 1 to 2 days a week. You know, usually on the weekend, like one 90-minute class. And I remember when COVID and everything shut down, all the studios shut down, I started just doing 20 minutes in the morning and sometimes 20 minutes at night. And I realized of like 6 months of 20 minutes in the morning and sometimes 20 minutes at night, I made more progress than like 3 years of doing it once a week, like hard stretching.
Then you're actually doing it every day and your body's actually having the actual outcome.
It kind of changed my idea on it. I'm like, oh shit, like it's actually, and it like really hammered it home that like, yeah, just a little bit every day is always going to be better in the long run. But every day.
Yeah.
You know, every day. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Dope.
So I'll say
consistency. The answer to everything in life. Yeah. I feel like probably. Thank you. Thank you.
You really learn how to breathe, and you have to turn out like this.
That's the one that's hard for me. Like my mom told me to do this. I was like,
yeah. So bend the knee, right, and then cup the foot, and go forehead to knee, and then just try to go lower and lower and lower until it gets really uncomfortable. And let's go elbows in, and then hold that for 5 minutes. You know, and that would be an example, right? And those ones I really like. Those are kind of advanced. I would never show that to beginners.
I could see how I could do that. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, and if you get super high first, it really helps.
No, yeah. I was saying that earlier. Like that's why I smoke weed a lot, because I'll smoke and then I'll stretch, or I'll smoke and then I'll go work out or do cardio.
Yeah, and so because a lot of stretching is breathing too, like learning how to breathe to make your body relax. So if you hold that, something like that, something that's a little bit high tension, and it forces yourself to learn how to breathe, or else you're not gonna be able to make it for like 2 to 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites.
It's like the sauna too. You have to learn to like
relax. Yeah. Because no one can really hold this kind of position and sit here and hyperventilate for 5 minutes. Like you got to be able to totally relax.
That shit's hard.
Yeah. You totally relax 5 minutes.
Dude, I'll do it and like my hips will like fall asleep
right here.
too. Yeah.
And it's really good for this, which is what I was talking about, like that part that really gets jammed up on everybody. But you're in a good spot already because you're so young. You know, so even if you start doing...
I want to clean it up for head kicks. Because I want to be able to just...
Yeah.
100% hip mobility. Like I love the fucking 90-90.
Speak up.
I love the 90-90. This shit's every day.
Alright, so like you and Davidek both said like hip mobility was like important.
Super important.
So now let's go from
I think so.
We'll go from the north-south stroke into the honey hole.
Hip mobility.
100% hip mobility. There's so many positions that require such intense hip mobility. Like, I kind of relate hip mobility to like shoulder mobility. Like there are some people who can't put their hands over their head, and like that's, you know, a benchmark from shoulder mobility. I feel like similar to like something like 90-90. Yeah, 90 degrees, being able to lift this knee, being able to go this way and lift this way.
Damn, that's what the...
Yeah, I can do that. Like that fucking muscle that you work is, I feel like it's so important.
I can barely do it, but I can do it.
And like
that shit burns.
You never work that shit out unless you're doing like deadlifts, just like sumo, I guess.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
That's a Gavin question.
Yeah, I just related a lot to like I don't know, in a lot of dance there's like turning out.
That's when we went over yesterday. Then my mom told me to do that, and I feel like a different like hamstring muscle gets pulled when I do that.
Yeah, because when you do this,
it like stretches the and I feel it like in a separate strand right here.
And like going straight on this way.
These are all industrial buildings.
Yeah, so like, I mean, you know, you do jiu-jitsu and not be able to put your hand over your head similar to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but you want to feel good.
You want to feel good, you want to be able to do things.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be able to do jiu-jitsu and not have your body stop. That's like the biggest thing.
Sorry to take you out last year. Go back. Thank you. Ernie,
What's up?
how do you feel good to make sure your body doesn't hurt?
I always stretch. I always, just stretch. Or whatever's going on with my body, I just do mobility exercises, you know?
Is that why you smoke so much weed?
I haven't been smoking in a week.
Fair. That's up.
Yes, sir. But I just got paid, so I'll pick up tomorrow.
But I don't know if you guys were able to hear Hassan's little spiel, but that's one of the most flexible and mobile people that I have seen. He went from being a person that was stiff as shit when he first came to jiu-jitsu, cause not stiff as shit, but a little bit mobile. But he just went to school, worked a job, wasn't really athletic, played video games, and then started doing jiu-jitsu, and he wanted to get more flexible. He started going crazy. He was even doing contortionist classes. That shit a little bit too much, but hey, that's one extreme, bro. We got an example of working from one extreme, from not being flexible at all to getting just mobile enough for jiu-jitsu, to another extreme where he just went super extremely mobile. This dude got so mobile that his ankle was kind of loose from just being super mobile and not doing that much stability and mobility or weightlifting. He took a step in a tournament where he was winning, and he dislocated his ankle and it popped back in. Yeah, bro, that shit was crazy. But he's one of the most flexible people I know, so that's why I wanted to ask him. And everybody's answers are honestly the same, and it's the same as the mentality that I had. Set up a schedule, keep to it, consistently stretch deeper and deeper and deeper, and go into extreme stretches. And make sure to take rest days, because your muscles are going to take damage because you're stretching them apart and giving micro tears and shit like that. And also consistency, bro. Everybody, Davidek, I was saying, Hassan was saying, consistency is what's going to cause it, bro. The flexibility and all that is all a byproduct of the consistency and work you're doing day in, day out, morning and night. Ow, fuck, that was hot. Yo, that shit fell on me, Dash. But I'm finna end this video with me going to the sauna. Y'all guys have been to see that in a sec. I'm gonna stretch out a little bit more while I cut weight a little bit for the tournament this weekend. Y'all finna get a vlog of that when I fly out and everything, so y'all get excited for that shit. Yes, sir. This right here is one of my favorite things to use to take out knots. It's like a crane. It's like a cane that goes into pressure points. I really recommend doing this. If I find a link for any of these types of things on Amazon, I'll put it in. I'll put a link to my favorite foam roller. I'll put a link to all the shit that I basically use for myself that I like to use for stretching and body care and stuff like that. And then also I'm really big on bands and shit like that, so that's more so for the stability portion. I like using that. I'll put in a couple bands, any little links to random shit that I normally use. And then anything else I can think of before we hit up the sauna, end up this video. I honestly recommend the jacuzzi or the sauna for your stretching and shit if you're not right after practice. Yeah, you can stretch in the morning like Davidek does that. People got different routines, but I prefer this being warm. That's just so that way I can get into it. But if I am just gonna stretch raw dogging it, I like to get some active movement stretches, like swinging my legs, opening the gate, closing the gate type stuff, arm swings and shit to get me loosened up first. Because at the end of the day, you want to get that blood flow going, and then we're gonna go, because I've just gone straight stretching before and that shit fucking hurts. I've pretty much pulled my groin before.